Find deep inner peace. Forward. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 145 with the title Responding to the Call of Life. And the quote is as follows: He who consciously and deliberately makes the decision and commits himself once and for all to living his life for the primary purpose of activating the real self, he alone can find genuine peace, the deep inner peace. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 145. Find deep inner peace. Becoming a New Age person through a path of self-development means being on a path that leads to self-knowledge, self-acceptance, self-respect, and inner wholeness. The peaceful feeling of inner relaxation, security, and intense enjoyment of life is a birthright, our natural state of being. On this path to deep inner peace, we come to know and accept with a loving curiosity our unconscious aspects of consciousness, activating the true self, our true identity. The true self is a center of wisdom, love, and power. Humanity is in a disharmonious phase of evolution, characterized by blind automatic reflexes, uncertainty, and confusion. Collectively, automatic reflexes, emotional responses based on misconceptions about ourselves, others, and life, have alienated us from the true self. As a result of this self-alienation, we suppress positive feelings, turning those blocked feelings into negative emotions. And unconscious of the creative power in these emotions, we fight against our own creations. Only when we respond to the call of the soul to follow this path of self-development to a New Age person will we gradually restore the connection with the true self. As a New Age person, we enter a higher and more harmonious phase of consciousness. The connection to the true self is restored, so that we are authentic. We love and experience life as carefree and effortless. We have researched and understood all automatic reflexes so that positive feelings can flow freely. We also understand that we create every event ourselves, and therefore we enjoy giving the best of ourselves to life. Because we consider all people as brothers and sisters, we experience unity. We peacefully accept our human imperfection and confidently fulfill the task we have taken upon ourselves for this incarnation. The 5 modules Find Deep Inner Peace are based on key themes, exercises and meditations from the unedited Pathwork lectures, whose mission is to awaken us so that our consciousness expands and opens to the spiritual reality of the divine world within. These Pathwork lectures were delivered in America through Eva Pierrakos from 1957 until her death in 1979 by an entity called The Guide. This guide wishes to remain anonymous in order to protect us from a dependency relationship. The guide says about this in QA 161, "It is extremely important to know that the highest and deepest truth must never be attached to a single being. It is all over and therefore also within you, and accessible within you. All my approach and guidance is oriented in such a way to help you eliminate the barriers in you so that you come more and more to this truth within yourself and never glorify it and personalize it. End of quote from Pathwork Q&A 161. Module 1 Introduction. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 13 with the title Positive Thinking, the Right and the Wrong Kind. And the quote is as follows. Experience of absolute truth is like a living organism. It cannot come to you by the most miraculous outer happenings. It can only be nursed, cared for, developed like any living organism. Also, physical growth happens slowly but surely, step by step. You hardly notice the growth while it is going on, but all of a sudden you discover the preceding gradual development. It is thus with all physical growth and not a bit different with spiritual or emotional growth. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 13. If you feel sad or depressed and dissatisfied with this life, whether or not we have a valid reason, it is always because our mind is hungry. The most important element of spiritual nourishment is self-development. The true self cries out for this all the time, but we always tend to deny ourselves this nourishment. If we choose to nurture ourselves through self-development, then we will truly become peaceful and fulfilled. In Module 1, Find Deep Inner Peace, Becoming a New Age Person Through a Path of Self-Development, we delve into the emotionally immature part that causes all conflicts. Emotional maturity is a spiraling development that follows a certain blueprint, which corresponds to the order of the chapters in this book. Just as a baby first learns to crawl before learning to walk, the development process also takes place in predictable phases. During this process, we learn to gently face the immature part without judging ourselves. The purpose of these modules is to learn the language of the unconscious, which allows the true self to unfold and take charge of this life. When we are no longer separated from this divine core, then the illusion of separateness is cancelled and we are able to experience the reality of a loving and caring universe. Module 1 starts with Pathwork Lecture 25, because in this lecture the guide announces the start of a development course. Each chapter of these 5 modules is based on a cluster of chronological Pathwork lectures. Each cluster of Pathwork lectures is a step towards peace and is based on important themes from the Pathwork lectures. A number of clusters form a phase of development. These Pathwork lectures provide insight into the automatic reflexes that cause a narrowing of the consciousness and prevent the connection with the true self. The quotes in italic are exercises and meditations from the unedited Pathwork lectures. The exercises promote clear formulation of thoughts. The meditations support the observation of feelings. Each chapter contains the author's personal experiences with the relevant theme. There is also advice on how we can consciously determine a new course by constructively using the self-creating consciousness on the 3 levels of behavior, thoughts and feelings. At the end of each chapter is a questionnaire to encourage self-examination. I end with a quote from Pathwork, additional material number 11, the Arosa lecture, and the quote is as follows. You can live in a state where you are your own deepest God self. That God self will manifest in your outer being the moment you decide it so. Your God self is not something that is unreachable. If you decide with your mind, with your thought, with your commitment, with your intentionality right now to express the truth and the love of God in every individual situation, you will manifest God on the conscious level, and you will always know what to do. You are then the New Age person. End of quote from the Erosa lecture. I wish you love, light and strength on this path of self-development. Blessings and peace. Thank you.